Hello everyone, today I'm working on this Kato C425. It's in pretty good shape except that it has somewhat of a weird paint job. Not very high quality, but we're going to restore that today. It has most of the handrails, and I'm just going to remove this foam, which is nice for protecting the handrails. There's a little bit of handrail damage here, which I'm going to have to fix, but I think it's repairable. And other than that, all the handrails are there, which is good. And the windows, the windows are there. There's couplers. I haven't decided whether I'm gonna switch them to KDs. And it's missing also one of the side frames, which I can probably borrow a side frame from somebody else, another engine. So I'm going to start by removing the drive here. It's not stuck on there very good. And then I'll be doing I'll be putting the car in the locomotive in the stripper. The stripper I'm going to be using is brake fluid. So let me get to work on that. Well, I got a pleasant surprise once I got through with the stripper. I had a nearly perfect Erie like I want a paint job. I'm not going to keep it because it's a little bit damaged, especially here for the number boards. If I had decals, maybe I'd fix it up, but I'm going to be painting it for Penn Central. I don't know what kind of paint they use, Kato, but it's a very good paint. There was also a big blob of glue here, and I just sandpapered that away. So let's get to work on painting. Okay, so while my shell is drying, while my paint is drying, I'm going to work on the drive system. So what I do, the first step is I'll remove this top plate here that's holding the worm gear together. So that's 4 little tabs, 2 on each side, that hold it together. So I'll just lift it up gently, and that will allow me to remove the worm gear. So it's stuck on there pretty good, which is okay, because you don't want this plate to move while you're running the train. So let me work on this off camera. So once it's off, you get the worm gear, and that's gonna get re-lubricated for sure. So I'm gonna set that aside. I'll lubricate it later, and I'm also gonna remove the other side frame. That will allow me to remove the two. There should be another pin here that holds it together, but obviously it's gone. That should allow me to remove the two side frames. I have to remove this top plate first, so that also is not too hard. There's two tabs on the side. These usually come out pretty easy. So this allows you to see the gears and to take out the side frames. So these should come out pretty easy now. Let me work on this a bit off camera there. So the previous owner crazy glued that together. I don't know if I'm cool with that. That probably doesn't help me a lot. So anyways, I'm going to try to make it as back to original as I possibly can. So now you have access to the wheels. They come out just like that, and I can clean them. So now I can clean my wheels, and this is a very nice part actually. Once you get it clean, it looks very nice. And I also clean the side of the wheel. I find that makes it look better. Very nice. So I have indeed borrowed a side frame from another unit, and that I'll have to buy another one, but I don't want to wait for the packages to come in. So I'm going to put everything back together for you. It does bother me quite a bit that everything's glued together. So I'm probably eventually I'm gonna buy another unit that hasn't been molested. You can buy separately just the gearbox and the trucks. So that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. So the side frames, the contact strips, it should just come out, making it much easier to get everything back in there. So I'm a little bit sad about that this unit wasn't treated properly. But what are you gonna do? It will still run that way though, that's the only good news. So then you should be able to put just the side frame and just the contact strip back, but they for some reason got glued together. I don't want to fight with it too much either. They should just go back nice and easy. So there's the first side, and then the other side should fit right in over here. Just have to take my time. Yeah, look at that holds block here. So I'm gonna have to re-drill this. That's okay, I got the equipment handy. So I managed to re-drill that little hole, and now I can put in my side frame. The side frame, it'll just snap in there, and it has pins to guide the contact strips to where it should go. So that's going to take a little bit of fooling around with it, because over time that got bent and everything is far from perfect. But I'll manage to do it. So this is what it should look like by the end. Then I can bring back this plate. This plate will hold everything up also very nicely. You don't need much lubrication in there, I don't think. I think that once everything's in there, should go very well. And then we're gonna put the worm gear back. I took a minute and I tested the motor. It doesn't need any lubrication, but since I have the worm gear in my hand, I'm gonna give it just a little bit. Just one drop. That's all you need. Then I'm going to put the worm gear back. And then the worm gear has its retainer. I check it every step of the way to make sure that it's well connected. And then the worm gear has its retainer. Just goes up like that. Nice and easy. I'm going to do the other side off camera. Now that my drive is done, I can focus on my shell. So it came back very shiny. I like you can still see the eerie print on the body. And my roof turned out okay. So now I'm going to start applying my decals. This is the set that I use. Micro scale, Pen Central diesels. So I'll just cut up my decals. And then I'll slide my decal down to where I want it. Make sure I have enough water on there to slide it around and not break it. The C425 is a little bit of a rare engine. Not necessarily easy to find pictures of it, but I manage. So it's nice to have a prototype photo when you're doing this. So it looks much better with the decals, of course. And now I also took a minute to put my horn back in. And if you're a beginner, then you're done. Freshly shopped unit, but I prefer to use a dull coat, so I'm going to do just that. So while my paint's finishing up drying, I'm going to do the safety rails on this. In N scale, I don't like to do them because it makes the handrails look bigger, but I find that in HO scale, it does add to the look. On the pen central, the paint scheme is white and black, so it's a little drab, especially if you look at pictures from the real units. They were run down quite a bit, and so they were grime, and black with grime over it is the color they were. So on some of the units you didn't see the yellow, or it was major faded, so you didn't see the yellow, and so you could be forgiven for not doing this. Especially in N scale, I don't like doing it, but for HO scale it has just a little bit of color, especially since the New York Central was accented by the yellow, and so was the Pennsylvania's. Pennsylvania's had the yellow numbers. So I'm going to keep working on this off camera. I'm also going to put a little bit of clear over my number boards. That will help my decals to stick, because I'm going to do the number boards on this. So now everything's shaping up nice. I'll give you a closer view of the engine. So with the dull coat, it looks very professional. And you can see the roof, everything looks good. Very happy with the way this turned out. Now I'm going to do the number boards, and then I gotta put everything back in. So I put my number boards and I put the windows in, so that looks much better. Now I'm gonna put my handrails. There is a repair to do on that, so we'll get right to it. So the engine's really shaping up. On this side, the handrail's disconnected. That won't be too much of a problem, just a little bit of crazy glue, and it'll be good as new. But on the other side, I'm missing the post and the handrails that goes to the cab. So I'm going to use this piece of wire. I'm going to remove the insulation, and after that I'll cut it size, and then I'll just glue it together with some crazy glue. So with the insulation off, I can just cut it to whatever size I need I use my nail clippers. It's a good little trick and easy. So now I'm going to just measure what length I need, and then I'll cut it to size. So while I was measuring everything, I noticed I could save a step by just making a bend in the wire. So all that's going to do now is a little glue and some painting. I'm also going to put the shell back on the frame. Now I just need some paint and I'm done. After the paint dries, it looks really good. And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.